I think this was the worst game by Fabi I've seen for a long time. I mean, I'm not gonna take anything away from Anish because he's playing fantastic chess. But I haven't seen Caruana being so helpless with white. I don't remember what was it. So I guess it must have been something psychological because he was supposed to defend the game where he is supposed to play for the win, and this hits the head psychologically. It's very difficult to come around it, and I was watching his body language during the game. It was not good. So yeah, you're playing like you're feeling. It's always like this. Fabi was losing a lot of games and neither of his white? I don't remember. Yeah, Fabi is out. He's out, definitely. I already thought he's out right after the opening. Even before Anish had a huge advantage, I already could say that Fabi is out. Unfortunately. Because when you're watching the games, you feel the pace, you feel who is playing good, who is not. Fabi produced a wonderful first game, but I guess he never found a rhythm in the tournament. Maybe he just got slightly unlucky at some moments, so he never really got in the tournament. And Nepo and Anish, they're just playing better. They're just playing better. That's it. It's so simple at the moment. So the result is deserved. So either way, what he played. Now this is a surprise. Anish clearly has worked very good during the preparation, and he is the player who was prepared the best, among the best, I think so, because I'm really, at least the results are quite obvious. So what he did, he prepared the Sveshnikov, Sicilian Sveshnikov against Nepo. You remember that, right? And Nepo wasn't able to show anything at all. Now he plays this. Then he prepared both e4 and d4 as white, and he was trying for his preparation, as I understand, to be as unpredictable as possible. And this is how you approach this tournament, because these guys, they're preparing seriously. They're analyzing every single your move, what you have played before, very seriously by supercomputers. And they can do that to something which you have never played before. So that's, I think, very smart approach by Giri. Who is my bet to win the candidates? Obviously it's Nepo, because Nepo is like a full point ahead. So with 2 rounds to go, yeah, it's quite a safe choice. It's gonna be Nepo. But if Anish is gonna win it, I think it's gonna be absolutely deserved, because he's showing some fantastic chess. You might remember that he lost in the tiebreaks of Tata Steel Chess against his compatriot Jordan Van Forest, but he was playing a fantastic tournament. So Anish is playing on a different level. I just hope they won't battle out the World Championship at the Twitter. Anyway, so d4 knight e4. But Anish, he used to play sometime Manov. So obviously he is a big Sicilian Knight of expert, and he has published this course of the year of the Sicilian Knight for Chessable. And suddenly here he played Knight of 6. Knight of 6 and Knight c6. And this is a very rare choice. And last time he played this, one of the few times, was against Vichy Anand. Back in the 2019 Sinkfield Cup. Yeah, about Knight c6. This is obviously the main move, and Fabi knows this. So Fabi spent how many minutes here? Yeah, so he spent 5 minutes. Now you have to understand the psychology here. So Knight c6 is the main move. You do remember this controversy at the Isle of Man, right? When 2 boards were playing the same exact line, the same exact mistakes. That was quite funny. So Knight c6, that's the big theory here. Knight c6, b takes, e5, knight e5, knight e4. All of this has been known before. But you can understand Fabi by not going here because he didn't expect this line. He's surprised. He's surprised by Anish, and he can probably have a good... he probably understands that Anish is well prepared. Well prepared in mainland. He's probably prepared something rare, something specifically for this game that Fabi is not ready for. So you can understand why suddenly Fabi decided after a 5-minute think to divert it, to play a3. Why he didn't play knight b5? Because this is the Sveshnikov. Actually, that's quite interesting. So after knight b5, I imagine Anish would play d6 here, here, and here. So he literally would force Fabi to play. Now this is the Sveshnikov. It is the Sveshnikov, but only. Yeah, but this is transposing to Sveshnikov. So he is literally transposing to this line, and I think this is quite smart. So let's go back. Why Anish play this? So let's go back. Why did they play exactly this way? Why not play through the normal means, knight c6? Because Fabi plays Rossolimo. You remember the World Championship match? Caruana against Carlsen. So this was one of the most topical issues. And I imagine Anish didn't want to go here. So either he wants to play clean Sicilian Sveshnikov or something else. So he didn't want to venture into the Rossolimo setups. I think so. That's my best guess. And maybe Nepomniachtchi never plays the Rossolimo. I didn't check it, so that's quite smart. Yeah. So instead, this is why he played what he played. So he chose this order of the moves. He is proposing to go knight b5. He is well prepared against knight c6, e5. So Fabi naturally surprises him, tries to surprise. Hello, Sashadov. And he invites him to a game, but I imagine that Fabi remembered that from the preparation that Giri had played this line against Vishy Anand, like I said in the 2019 Sinquefield Cup. So Bishop e7 was played, and in the game I mentioned of Anand against Anish, so what they played? Anand played a 4 back in the game. So after f4, let me try to find a game. d6, knight f3, d6, knight f3, short castle, bishop d3, a6, short castle, b5, b4, a5, rook b1, takes, d5, e5. This is what they played. And I'm absolutely sure that Fabi knew this game. Obviously Giri knew it because he played it, and he had prepared something. He had prepared something here. An improvement. So that's why Fabi decided not to pursue it. And he played a slightly different setup. So he was trying to kick Anish out of the preparation. So he played bishop e3. Yeah, this is rather strange. Queen d3. I don't really understand this move. Maybe he was bluffing with a long castle. What's the purpose of this move? I don't understand it. f4 early is met by short castle on e5. So you're saying it's here? Stuff like f4 short castle, knight f3. You mean d5 maybe? Maybe like this. Might be. It might be. I mean, Fabi was trying to get a different position. So, okay, sorry about that. Let's go back. So Queen D3, I guess it is directed against some E5 ideas, some Sicilian Scheveningen. It's quite interesting. Scheveningen, it's from... Was it from the Dutch? Yeah, these guys, they're quite patriotic with their systems. So bishop d7, f4, e5. This is what they played. So we have some sort of a pure Sicilian Scheveningen. All of this makes sense. I'm not sure how strong it is, based on how we understand the modern chess. But this is completely normal. Black wants to play knight e7, knight e5, bishop f6, wants to get an outpost on e5 and do something at queenside. Hello, Nicola. Queen g3 is normal. Knight e7 is normal. So the knight is getting to e5. Bishop e6 is bad because of queen b6 check. There's gonna be something on b2 kanging. So that's not a blunder. So Fabi played normal. He played rook d1, rook e8. I guess it's still a fine move. King h1, all of this is normal. Queen b8. So up to this moment, it made sense what was happening here. Now the next move, I didn't like it. I know it's sort of supported by engines. Bishop h6, there's always g6? Just a second, which moment? You mean here? Bishop h6, there's always bishop f6. There's no sacrifice, the queen is standing here. Yeah, now the queen is leaving, because after bishop h6 there's just g6. So you cannot really exploit it. Yes, Nicola, I think Nepo will win it. I yesterday already posted the prediction. It's 80% Nepo, 19% Anish, and 1% maybe the stars will align mysteriously for MVL. Or Fabi has some theoretical chance. I don't think there's any chances. No chances. I think they know it. They know it. So it's either Nepo or Anish. That's it. Yeah, so we have this position. And now Fabi played b4. I didn't like this move at all. I thought there was no need to do this. If Nepo does win, how well he'll do against Magnus? I think just as well as Anish. There's gonna be slightly less Twitter wars, but he's gonna do great. Yeah, so I would have played b3 as well, and about the move b4. Now maybe I just don't understand. Now this is probably the case, because maybe this is some very modern approach, but I think the entire approach to play b5 is just wrong. You just don't want to do that. So Fabi's idea was to play b5, trade on c6 and play knight e5, but I don't understand for what gain. And as we are going to show in the game, Anish played like a machine from this moment. So I think Fabi's problem started here. So instead I would propose to play the peaceful b3. b3, let's say the pawn is still under attack, knight e5. Now there's this tricky idea, bishop h5, try to rearrange the knight to d4. I think that's very human. So g6, I guess, knight e2. This knight is not doing anything there anyway. So something like king h8. Bishop goes here. Bishop goes here. And knight e4. So I have a feeling that white is pushing. Although black has achieved his perfect setup with the knight on e5, bishop on f6, But these are weaknesses. So you can play bishop e2, you can play h3, you can play rook e1. So this would have been a interesting maneuvering game. So white is pushing, well, black is super solid, and I don't know how it would finish. So what happened here is that suddenly, for some reason, Fabi got impatient. So he played b4. Maybe it was this feeling, this is it. This is the final game. Either I win this or I go home. So this thought probably crossed his mind, I imagine, the importance of this game. After knight e5, b5. I know that the engines like this position, sort of like this position, but I just didn't like it. Visually, I didn't like it. I thought for black it's very easy to play this. Knight a4? What is knight a4? Well, knight a4? What is that? I don't think there's such an idea. Instead of b5. A knight a4, knight c5, but I mean, I understand your idea that you want to attack the queen, threaten with a mate, but even this entire approach, I'm not even sure what you're threatening there. No, I mean, it's possible, but either way. So Fabi took on c6 and he played knight e5, and when I saw this position, I just couldn't understand what's happening here because I already picked black. I don't know, Sasha, what happened here. Maybe he... Thank you, Seriously. Maybe he just... I don't know how to explain this. I see this is wrong. This is wrong by simple positional concepts. So black keeps the knight on e5, black dominates the dark squares, white is having with a terrible light square bishop. So maybe something... I don't know what happened to Fabi. I cannot explain it. I'm surprised. I'm surprised just as you are. Something was wrongly evaluated. So what happened here is that Anish played Queen of8. By the way, I assume that Fabi had thought that bishop d5 doesn't work. Takes, and there should be something. Yeah, takes, bishop d3. So that's like a computerish approach. And there should be something, yeah. There's some big threats. Bishop h7, rook f7, sacrifice. The queen is on b8, disconnected. What was better? Here, bishop d8? I think queen f8 is fine. Queen f8 is a very solid move. So, okay, let's go back. No, queen f8 is completely fine. Remember, I mean, Anish, he went out to play this game safe. He doesn't need to win. I don't think he had any ambitions to play this position for the win. He is playing against world number 2, the most dangerous opponent, and with black. So his task is try to hold this, try to play solid chess, not blatantly for the draw, maybe some possibilities to spicy up things, but still play a solid chess. And this is what Anish knows how to do. Yeah, now things started to go seriously wrong for Fabiano. So I think he is a little stalemate here. He's supposed to play for the win, so he cannot play for equalizing. And check out how his position quickly deteriorated. So he played c3. A move which I cannot explain. It's just to get the game going. I guess c4, there could be some mass trades. Trade. Fabi is not playing this for the win. So he is sort of keeping as many pieces on the board as possible, avoiding a draw. But now, yet another passive move. Knight g6. Yeah, maybe bishop g4 was the better choice. It's difficult to tell. And now we got this position. Suddenly, Anish started to take over. So after h6, bishop g4, black forces the trade of the dark square bishops, and he is left with this outpost. And when I saw this position, I thought Fabi is out. I mean, not how the game is finishing, but I thought there's no chance. There's no chance that he's gonna be on the top of the candidates tournament because he's misplaying this game. And yeah, maybe Fabi felt it himself. I mean, I don't know. That's my best guess. So he played here queen b3. Trade. Went back. Precisely defending the pawn. And this is a nightmare. So he got to this position. This is a textbook dream position for black. I mean, not ideally, not normally with a black knight on e4, but on e5. So instead of the knight f4, knight e5 is considered to be the traditional choice. But okay, I mean, he played knight f4, and I think Fabi was done here. So there is no way he is going to play this for the win. And having the thought that he is going to be the one who is going to need to lead a long defense to draw, and which still means end of the candidates tournament for him, it's not a very inspiring thought. So had this been a first round game and Fabi would get a bad position, he would fight like a lion completely, and he would find resources, he would find his opponent, give his opponent the most difficult way to try to convert this, and there would be a fair chance he would save this. But when you have this psychological moment that his entire tournament is collapsing because his only acceptable score here was try to win this, and there's no way he's gonna win this, the mood drops dramatically. So you're starting to play like a completely different person, and Fabi was completely unrecognizable from here. So he played queen f2 here, defending the pawn on f7, threatening to take. Queen e8, yet another precise move, attacking the bishop. Rook e1, rook e7, drop something. So there's a tournament prediction: Nepo first, Giri second, Fabi third. No, I think it's gonna be MVL third. I don't think Fabi is gonna be there. At least MVL has recovered from the terrible start. He won. Yeah, I think MVL is gonna be third. So I don't think it really matters, to be honest. I think it's either the first place or who cares. Yeah, so queen f2 was played. Bishop f3. Now the last moment, which I think showcases the psychological state of Fabi, was this one. Like he played queen f2. I thought, I mean, there's no way you can play this. So obviously he had to try queen c7. Be active. But he understandably denied it, because after rook takes on a3, there is no queen d6. Now this is quite nice. So I'm absolutely sure he saw all of this. So rook takes on f3 quite unexpectedly wins. Rook f3 is a mate, and after g takes, queen e2. There are a couple of checks. Maybe one check, I don't know how many checks there are. Maybe a check here, a check here, but that's it. Rook g1, queen f3. Black wins. So that's quite nice. So anyway, he had to do this. He had to play queen c7 and here play h4. This is something normal Fabi would play without thinking. Like I said, he was feeling not very good. Hello, Snot Boy. So h4, the idea is to make a window for the king and then threaten to play queen d6. Now, I think the best is something like knight g6, take, rook a4, threaten with a mate. Now that's a very big threat. g3, knight e5, g6, f takes, and bishop g2. So this is something that Fabi could have picked up, and he would have to lead a very long defense. But the position is not losing. It's just a bad position. So Black enjoys a very powerful knight on e5. He has an extra pawn. Maybe there's a way to keep them undoubled. I don't know really. So try to trade the queens and lead a long 6-hour defense. Yeah, Fabi wasn't up for it. So instead what happened is there's one interesting moment here. He played this terrible move, queen f2 on h4. And after queen e5, Black is simply up a pawn. He has much more active pieces, and the white king is weak. So that's it. That's game over. It should be game over. And one interesting moment happened here. After h takes, queen g5, rook e1, bishop e4, the 40th move. Giri plays rook a2. And happily walks. So the idea is after queen a2, queen h4 check, queen e1 check, he wins a piece. It's quite nice. But there's an unfortunate refutation. So white can play bishop b1. The queen is taboo. Checkmate. So after bishop b1, you have to go back. Yeah, this was quite crazy. So you have to go back. Bishop b1. It's still winning. And I was watching how Anish was sitting there for something like 10-15 minutes, just trying to cope with the pressure, because this was obviously one of the biggest moments in his chess career. Even being a super GM, he knows the importance of this game. He knows the position is winning, and suddenly he is left with a sinking feeling that he just made a blunder. And this is something it can drive you crazy. And it took Anish some time to gather the thoughts. So after Fabi's slightly inaccurate rook b1, I think bishop b1 was a better choice. Rook a8. Yeah, Fabi made yet a final psychological mistake. He repeated the position. I mean, this allowed for Anish to gather the strength and calm down. Yeah, it's brutal. It's a brutal thing. Brutal tournament. And Anish managed to calm his nerves after 10 minutes and proceeded with the best move f5. So f5, king f7, that's it. That's it. So, as Mr. Scheibel would say, now you resign. Yeah, now you resign. So there's rook h8, there's knight h3, there's so many threats, and Fabi stopped the clock after a couple of moves. So that was an incredible game by Anish. But let's say here after bishop b1, rook a8, the position obviously is still winning. So something like g3, there was still some room for stubbornness. Yeah, his position was winning anyway. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So, but Fabi could have played slightly more stubborn, but he was so already emotionally depleted that he wasn't even fighting. So this is what happens. This is what happens.